I haven't ever had to perform on an individual level the way that I have in here. I've had to get past this point in myself where I can take my own personal experiences and I can put it into a run.
I joined my freshman year because my brother was a bass drum and they had a cymbal hole, so I joined and then I wasn't allowed to leave. And then I just ended up falling in love with it. It's addicting.
It's hard because there's long rehearsals, there's what some would consider kind of a crazy rehearsal schedule, but it's really rewarding just because you get a lot out of it, and the experiences and the memories that you get from it, you can't really get anywhere else.
Students were working really, really hard. They would get together, they would work on their music. In study halls, they'd come down to the percussion room, they'd jump on a pad, they'd hop on a marimba. Cymbal players would constantly be coming down, going down to the LGI. I'd be in my office, and you just hear from the LGI room.
Not every day is going to be happy and exciting. Okay, it's not. It's just not the way this activity works. But if we're here and we can create and we can finish and then we can get better and we can feel that energy building momentum into the first night you get to show this off to people, we're gonna have a lot more days like that. A lot more fun rehearsals that it's just exciting to be a part of this world that we're creating. One, three, and then don't move, just be here. 5, bail.
World-class championships are kind of the top of the top, the best of the best. You don't get there unless you're one of the groups that works really hard and puts in the hours, puts in the work, has great leaders like Mr. Kohler and Christian and Jesse who are going to push the group to their fullest potential.
Winter is a lot more individualized. There's a whole lot less people and you're so much closer to the audience. There's a point where I will be 8 feet away from somebody right in front of me. I get to interact with that specific person. The work outside of this that you have to put in and the amount of self-control you have to be able to get your schoolwork done, work a job for me in this case. I have all these other responsibilities outside of this and this takes up a lot of my time. So I've got to be able to not only put in my 100% of effort here, but I've got to be able to work and do my homework and things outside of school too.
The show, Paper Tiger, was based off of a Chinese proverb that says that when we walk outside of our door every day, we don't know what we're going to experience, whether we're going to experience one of a positive experience or one of adversity.
Being a cymbal player is hard because you use your arms in ways that, you usually don't use them day to day. It's instead of lifting weights and seeing how much you can pull, it's like marathon running, where it's how long can I hold up these giant plates of metal for as long as I can? And then your arms hurt and everything hurts and your arms get cut up, but it's all worth it.
As I'm playing this, that's what I'm feeling for all of this stuff, is that Spider-Man hand, and the real reason is just to avoid pinch, because both of these extremities cause problems all the time. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to play the same thing. But I want you to let these two just ditch. They cannot get tensed up.
Every section had a staff member, including our sound. And so that made all the difference in the world. And we were doing some new challenging things with geography and where things were being placed on the field. And it made it really hard for the students to hear. It made it really hard for the ensemble to play cohesive. And because of Mike Abel's work with sound delay by fractions of milliseconds and nanoseconds.
I am the metronome, so it's exciting. It's pretty fun. But yeah, so it's cool because I can like hear myself through these, and then everyone can hear what I'm playing. But then it's funny because every time I talk or like laugh or something, like everyone can hear me.
Today's the first competition. We're getting through our last little bit of a rehearsal here. We're an ensemble. You kind of feel the energy from everybody. Everybody's a little bit nervous.
My heart's ready for my first competition, but not my brain.
Some of these kids, it's their first time performing in an ensemble like this. And it's a very weird activity, and they're going to go do it in front of a bunch of people they don't know. I would be nervous too. But you never like stop being nervous. You just like figure out how to handle it better. So.
If you play all the simple stuff well, everything else is incredibly easy because we work on all the other stuff. We don't work on quarter notes and eighth notes because that's play the quarter notes and eighth notes. If you play eighth notes, the triplet roll will sound like that. That is the best triplet roll I've heard from Fishers High School, period. Just do that. Just do that. It's not magic. Okay, just play eighth notes and everything else works. Got it?
With Concert World, you do a lot of music-based things, and it's still a performance, but with movement, you just get into character, and you're telling the story, and it's just really fun.
I like movement because the people, they're the best part of it.
So the show's called Paper Tiger. It's kind of about your inner fears and how even if they may seem very real sometimes, they aren't, and how to deal with those fears and to overcome them.
The battery were the antagonists, so they were dressed in red and orange, and the front ensemble were dressed in blues and grays, so they were more of the calming tiger. If you think of like Lion King, you think of Mufasa, right? And you think of Scar, and the battery was like Scar, and front ensemble was more like Mufasa. Okay, so that's just kind of how we built the show around that.
The battery is like battling against the Vish team and the front ensemble, and like there's like a lot of conflict with like establishing like your territory, I guess, and like trying to figure out how that works between the two groups, and then I think at the end we'll come together and like make it work.
So this is the first time where all of the instruments that are being played by the front ensemble were movable on the field, and we had this visual team, which came together thankfully within about a month ago of the first competition. The 20 amazing people that I think that when they first signed up for this, they thought they were just going to be pushing cages around, but it was really neat to see them come to life.
Us as the front ensemble, we're supposed to represent like the people, and the Vish team is actually like us personified, our emotions, our fears, how we feel, and they're kind of going out exploring and trying to see what this Paper Tiger is about, what this the battery is doing, and it's expressing our emotions and how we feel, and we're on the cage, we're like trapped, and they are us personified. The vibraphones have to balance with one foot. Our one foot is gonna be on the pedal and we have to hold it up the whole time when we don't want to play, and it's not like we can brace ourselves with it.
Keeping your balance while moving is something that not many front members have to deal with because we're not moving most of the time, but it's something that I think a lot of them are getting better at.
Really, in a nutshell, the show is about overcoming fear and really understanding that while we're different, we can really be better as we work together. I'll never forget that rehearsal. We sat the kids down and Jesse started to talk to them, and I remember looking at them and saying, that could be your last rehearsal. And it was. I've never experienced anything like this in my life. The big message to the students and everybody was, you don't know when your last time will be, and how precious, first of all, how precious life is amidst all this COVID-19 pandemic, but just how important every second of rehearsal matters.
I think the worst thing that could happen for you individually out of this situation is thinking that the time you spent putting the season together wasn't worth it. You know, and that's something we have to wrestle with as teachers and staff members too, because it's like we got all this work and we think in our heads that we do it for April 18th. We do it for that finals run we're going to have at WGI. But I think most of you know that that's not why you really do it.
I think one of the things that we all learned is you don't know how much time you have with anything. And if you not learned that lesson, well, now you have. I believe that this is a marker in your life that will help you grow, mature, learn, and experience how to process things later in life as well. So use it as an educational and learning opportunity to better yourself in how to respond.
There's something about performing with people where you can't really mimic it anywhere else. You can't, unless you're performing with people, you can't really, there's just a vibe that you get from it that you can't mimic in any other art form, I don't think.
Being able to put some of my own personal issues into the show and incorporate that with the theme, there's this line that you have to cross within yourself to be able to say, hey, like, I've got these these personal things going on in my life. Well, I can bring that to this show. I can be afraid when I need to be afraid. I can be aggressive when I need to be aggressive, and take all these emotions out that you normally bottle up in real life.
Learning to be a leader of an ensemble or learning to be a leader of a group in general, it's something that has brought me some dark days, and it's brought me some of my best and most rewarding memories.
More than ever, I would echo to our students, now's the time where you can be a great citizen and a great role model and take the things that you learn from marching band and drumline and percussion and concert world and everything else that you do musically, all those great human building skills and characteristics, and actually do something with it.